up, Guts girl? I moved from my old house, and I moved from my old friends. What's up, TDP? Come on in, come on in. I hope y'all doing all right. Come on in. Come on in, come on in. Come on in, come on in. Be better and not bitter. Be better and not bitter. Be better but not bitter. Y'all come on in. I got a few things to say. Just a few. Not too much. I'm not gonna give y'all too much today. What's up, Tampa Red? What's up, Ida Wallace? I hope you all are doing well. What's up, Miss Essence? What's up? What's up? What's up? So I'm gonna go ahead and start. I have a little story, and I hope y'all catch it. If you catch it, you catch it. If you don't, you'll catch up. You'll catch up. You know, I know a friend who was working a job. He did this job as a favor to a friend, and he knew that this friend, Dre Day, needed some help. So he went to help the friend. Told the friend that, hey, this is going to be temporary. This is not going to be a permanent thing. It's just going to be temporary. And the friend said, okay. Now the friend said, I'll give you $100 a week to do X, Y, Z. And the person said, well, I'm a friend, and I'll do that for you, but nobody else. Because I really, you know, don't want to get back in this profession again. Okay? So time goes by, the friend helps, the friend helps, and then the friend just continues to help. But as the friend is helping, other people want that person to help them. And then say, well, I'll give you $400. Then somebody said, I give you $575. You know what I'm saying? And so the other friend said, hey, I need to move on. I just said this was going to be temporary. And so I'm going to explore other things. And the friend said, I understand. And for what you've done, I appreciate it. And they're still friends. But the other person is exploring and doing other things. The end of story. I hope y'all get that. If you didn't, you'll get it. Good morning, everybody. What's up, Kimmy? Kim. So, like I said, you all I'm going to say is I am fine. Let people think what they want to. as you know the truth, you don't have to worry about a thing. You don't have to worry about a thing. When you have options, oh my God, I know y'all hate that. When you have options, you have freedom to go where you want to go. When you have options. Some people don't have options, but some people do. Some people do. It's time to be better and not bitter. A lot of people get bitter when bad things or they perceive that bad things have happened to them, and then they get bitter, and then they get vindictive, and then they get angry. But I don't. I just get better. And you gotta gauge your emotions. You know what I'm saying? You gotta gauge them. And some people don't know how to gauge their emotions, and they get very bitter and not better. And they get better at being bitter. Oh my God, somebody better write that down. They get better at being bitter. Mm. And they go down this spiral. But we are praying for the busted bricks that are better. My God, today. DMO said, I told them people we just find in the house of Wilson. You have an online congregation that, but see, they don't even know that deep. So I'm going to let people assume, because people get so much joy in thinking that they have done me harm. And if that gives them joy, I would not want to take it away. I want people to be happy. And if that makes them happy, I'm going to give them what they need. Amen? I don't have nothing to prove to nobody. Amen. And this is what some of these content creators need to realize, that, baby, when stuff ain't true, you don't need to be up there. It ain't true. It ain't true. I ain't doing all of that. Life is too short to be doing all of that and trying to prove stuff to people who don't really mean nothing to you, proving stuff to people who don't pay no mortgage and light bill. Ain't nobody doing that, not me. Now, y'all can do that. I'm not. So if people think that something tragic and bad has happened to me, let them hold on to that. Because if that makes them happy, then I don't want to disappoint them. That's all I got to say. Being bitter make you angry and miserable. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And you right, Miss O, ain't nothing lacking over here. As long as I got breath, I got a job. As long as I can move, I got a job. And that's all I got to say. And so if I'm cleaning toilets, I got a job. But the thing is, Miss O, and this is what people got to understand, folk want to really be in your life. And this is why I tell some of these other content creators that you all really overshare. I can understand at the inception of YouTube, because people didn't know any better and they wanted to be helpful to people and all of this. But yeah, YouTube has taught me that the greater world might be like some of these people and how to really spot it. And YouTube has been extremely a helpful tool. It has been a social experiment. And the thing is, people like, he done got so many jobs on him. No, I haven't. No, I haven't. You know of that one particular situation. And yeah. But again, have I ever lost anything? No. Am I planning to lose anything? No. I just think it's funny, because you can say what you want, but I'm resilient, and the stuff that y'all tried to put on me, if that happened to you, a lot of y'all would have been bankrupt and homeless. But I'm a resilient person. I'm going to make it pop. And my thing is this. The key to revenge is success. And that's all I'm going to tell y'all. Stop getting mad at people and be successful. Stop being mad at people and be successful. When people say, oh, she ain't going to make it, and then you do. Or when people say you ain't going to ever graduate, and you do. Y'all better learn how to be successful in spite of these people and what they think. I want y'all to realize, regardless of what happens on this apparatus, it ain't affecting nothing. To be honest, it's not. And y'all sitting up here getting mad over minute, minuscule things. It goes to show you have no emotional intelligence whatsoever. And this is why a lot of people are not successful and don't move forward and don't get promoted, because they don't read the room. They get mad over any little thing. They take offense. They don't step back to say, okay, let me see what's really going on here. And they do things that will adversely affect them in the long run over an app. And I think it's sad. Yeah. But that's what people do. So, again, it's a show. It's a show. I think people are talking about the Vivian situation. Child, okay, whatever. Whatever. I'm not trying to do that. Like I said, I just think it's a desperate ploy to have something to talk about. And again, that's a product of bitterness and not being better. But it's all good to me. And you let these girls talk. Don't tell me who they lying or so. What is they gonna stop people from ever lying? No, never. People will always lie. People will always have issues. So what? I don't know these people. So what? Baby, I got a glowing performance review. Come on. And up for another promotion. Do you think I care about that mess? Absolutely not. Y'all better recognize what's real and what's show. Anyway, let me stop talking. People like, oh, he bragging now. He bragging now, because some of these busted bricks can't take it, honey. They can't take somebody actually doing something productive with their life. You're bragging now. But yeah, honey, they can sit there and watch somebody go to the doctor and get shots and hit dogs and it just goes to show you where y'all priorities located. Mm-hmm. They still mad because you don't went to school. Good morning. None. Can I tell you, I don't know what people are getting such in a tizzy about. Yeah, I don't know what people are getting in a tizzy about. Especially when you volunteer. I don't know about, yeah. But anyway, I am not going to rummage in that, because what people really want to get is information, and they really want to know. They really don't know because they see something, they perceive that it's this, and it really may not be that. So I just let people come to their own conclusion. And if I told you what it is, but if you don't believe it, child, you don't believe it. I just move on. Okay. All right. Don't know if I took a sabbatical. Don't know if somebody offered me more. Don't know if I only did it for a season and now I'm just chilling. Don't know if I want to have my Sundays to myself so I can spend it with my boo. Don't know none of that. But let me say this. It ain't none of my business. When y'all look, it is my business, but what you think ain't none of my business. And I move on. I'm not Tommy and Castro up here showing y'all every aspect of my life and boo-boo on a towel and chance job. It is what it is. But the girls need something to hang on, honey. They need some J. Wilson hate. They need some J. Wilson hate. You know he messy and who ain't on this apparatus. That's the show. That's what y'all come here for. Y'all don't come here for education. Y'all don't come here for politics. Y'all come here for the mess. Speaking of politics, though, in the economy, child, pray for Vegas. Honey, they laying people off in Vegas. Girl, they said Vegas is empty. They said that the workers can't get enough pay. They said Vegas is looking bad. They said the foreign tourists ain't coming in. Oh my God. If you in hospitality right now, it ain't really looking good. Oh my God. That's all I can say. Pray for them people. Come on now. And it's not their fault. Well, let me say this. Farmers in Nebraska, farmers in Florida, do not be crying to the people now when you voted for that man. You voted for racism. You voted for racism, and you don't understand. You ain't special. You just white. You is not 1% white. You just white. And so Donald Trump is showing you what them people thought of y'all all along. They used to give y'all little stuff so y'all could think y'all special. They used to give y'all little trinkets to keep y'all quiet. But see, they really didn't like y'all either. And now y'all finding out. And you voted against your interests. So please do not come up here crying about you losing the farm and everything. And you know my heart goes out to you. But that's how important voting is. And you voted for racism and had Kamala Harris been the president, you still would have had the farm subsidies. Okay? But no, you didn't want a black woman. No, you didn't want a woman. No, unions don't get mad because he's doing any and everything. Y'all voted against y'all interests. This woman sat there and marched the picket lines with y'all, but y'all don't think none of that. And this man has blatantly told y'all that he is very anti-union. But y'all voted for him, so don't start crying now. Ooh, that make me mad. And then want to blame black people. Where you at, black people? Doing what we do. Doing what we do. Doing what we do. Baby, groceries all up. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all better go ahead and take that Trizepatide. Y'all better get that step down. Because let me tell you something. The only thing that's in my refrigerator is soup, yogurt. Then I got that little cereal, some coconut milk. I think that's it. Because I don't eat that much. Okay, it ain't no tater chips in my house. It ain't no tater salad in my house. Girl, I don't have that thing stacked up with me. Because again, child, it would not last. Because again, I mean, when you don't eat that much. And this is why they don't want Trizepatide to go down. Not only do the pharmacy company, the pharma companies don't want this price to go down because they know they're making money hand over fist. But the retail markets don't want you all to get access to this because they know that sales will slump. When people eat less, they buy less. And let me say this, supermarket, y'all better get it together because baby, people can shop online now and use Instacart. And let me say that when you shop online, you don't overshop. You go and get exactly what you want. You ain't walking down the aisle online. You know what though? Let me say this though. It's not having that. It's just the fact that if you eat less, you don't need to buy all of that food. Let me say this. I don't go to buffets because baby, I'm gonna eat one plate, and it's not going to be a big plate. And that's all that money wasted. I don't order fries with nothing because if I eat the fries, then I'm not going to eat the burger. It's going to be one or the other. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And I really don't do the burger thing. I went to Burger Boy, but most of the stuff that I'm like, maybe I'm a crock pot guru. Okay, it's about that crock pot because I can just leave it and go. Leave it and go. That's it. So that's all I'm saying. Now let's see what Jules said. Now, Pastor, I'm from Mississippi, and they speaking on closing some nursing homes. Baby, nursing homes, hospitals. I heard in Chicago that they just closed White's Hospital. I'm hearing that they are closing hospitals in the Delaware Valley. And you know what? Let me tell you about this. Some of these hospitals weren't even on that list. Some of these hospitals were not even on that list. Baby, it is getting bad out here. Honey, these girls are hiding stuff from you all. It's getting bad. It's getting bad, honey. Y'all better get that tricepatide. Curb your hunger. Yeah, it's getting really bad out here. Food is expensive. It's a lot of things, y'all. So all I'm saying is, baby, they said Las Vegas is crazy. People paying $18 for a hamburger, $20 for a bottle of water. They say them resort fees killing people. Mm-hmm. Yep. Vegas, you can't do it that way. And if Vegas did, then child Atlantic City is skull and bone. I'm telling you. People are not throwing their money away, boo. Folks don't have money to throw away in this economy. They don't know if canned goods gonna go sky high. If you ain't bought a car, I would recommend it. Oh, that's another thing. Dealerships are losing people. They're losing mechanics. They're losing salespeople. They said usually it's a 3 month turnover with salespeople. They say they losing salespeople right now in 2 months because nobody ain't buying cars. Nobody ain't buying cars. Yeah, nursing homes, yeah. Yeah, nobody's buying cars. So they're laying off people at these car dealerships. Girl, them steel tariffs I got cars real high. Let me say this: if you don't gamble and if you don't drink and smoke weed, Vegas ain't your place. Um, the only thing that I found interesting about Las Vegas was the Hoover Dam, and that's it. That's it. You all, Vegas is desert. Vegas is very hospitality driven. Unless you're working for the Air Force, um, and Vegas is really not high in education. Really, it's not. They just start getting a lot of colleges. UNLV and University of Las Vegas, Reno. Reno is the better school. University of Las Vegas, University of Nevada, Reno is much better than University of Nevada, Las Vegas. But they're not known for having good schools in Vegas either. So yeah, baby, I'm holding on to the stinking Lincoln, honey. She is paid for. The other girl is almost finished being paid for. And baby, I don't care. People always trying to get these new years. Cause baby, no, long as she's running, long as she's clean, long as she's maintained, we gonna keep it. Ain't nobody trying to be impressing nobody. Let me tell y'all something. The stinking Lincoln, the MKZ Hybrid, I got this car because Consumer Reports recommended it as a reliable car. And they ain't never lied. Baby is still driving. Honey, she still got her leather seats intact. Honey, her paint job is still looking good. But girl, we ain't trading her in. Absolutely not. And Volvo don't get driven enough to have some issues. Well, girl, I'm gonna have to stock it with. See, that's the thing, you all. I don't. Well, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, baby. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Now, let me say this. In Texas, I don't know if they have it in Philadelphia, where Catherine Powell is from. I don't know about in Texas, but in Philadelphia. But in Texas, they have a lot of places where they slaughter the meat, and you skip the middleman. You go right to where they slaughter it, and you get that meat. Baby, you get a whole cow. People be buying the whole cow and the whole pig and be putting it up in the freezer. Okay? They slaughter the whole thing right there. Right there. They got a lot of places like that in San Antonio. But baby, these Mexicans, baby, they be, honey, yeah. Okay, they can right here in Texas too. Girl, you can buy a whole cow, get that thing slaughtered, have you meat for days. And a lot of people go in on the cow. Well, yes, a lot of people do. Yeah. Yeah, Kim, I do. I do. I don't say that much because the girls start saying you bragging, about stuff. You're bragging, because they can't stand nobody who make decisions and work and stuff. I'm telling you, for somebody who don't work, they sure do be keeping and paying off stuff. That's why I don't, girl, that's why I listen to these people and laugh. But anyway, don't be bitter. Be better. Be better. That's all I can say. Bitterness don't serve you well. Be better. Girl, you can't even own one car without a job. Okay? So anyway, you all. But let me say this. 2025 has really been a year of promotion, a year of financial blessing. Politically, it has been very challenging, especially when they're trying to steal votes by redistricting and when they are trying to uh, impose martial law. They're trying to incite black folk to go out there and do crazy stuff. Black folk ain't out there talking about some protesting. No, we're going to let the other folks do that. Because, again, we don't have that luxury of doing something like that because, yeah, we be chilling. But in the midst of all of this confusion, in the midst of all of this political wrangling, I have been blessed. I have really, really been blessed. Really have. But politically, y'all, it's crazy. And I still follow myself politically. Um, this Ukraine thing, y'all don't understand. It is very important that Russia does not take territory from Ukraine. You all don't understand that Finland, all of those countries like Finland and Sweden and all of those places, Denmark, they're not that far from Russia. And if they will take land from Ukraine, they'll take land from anywhere. And truth be told, Putin has really been hurt with these tariffs. Um, it's really bad. But Donald Trump is really trying to be authoritarian leader. He's coming after the press. He's coming after black cities with black mayors. He's doing a whole lot of stuff. He thinks he's above the law. So I'm just sitting there watching and waiting. Yeah. Let me say this, you all. Don't let nobody turn you around. Don't let nobody turn you around. And I know I say we ain't nothing but 1099s and stuff, but I have learned to give. Now on these YouTube streets, you know how we are. But I have learned how to give and invest in people. And if I see somebody really trying to do something, I'm gonna invest in them. I'm talking about outside of YouTube. I will invest in you by giving you some advice here, but I really try to invest in them because I have learned that when you pay it forward, it comes back. I don't know why they be trying. I hope he ain't trying to give Alaska back. Child, knowing Donald Trump, child, you're trying to sell Alaska and pocket the money. They better be watching. I see what he's doing in D.C. You know what? I want him to go to Ohio on the West Virginia side. I want him to go to West Virginia, and I want him to go to Prestonville, Kentucky. And those people losing 33 hospitals in Kentucky, they may be losing more. And really do something with those people. So anyway, so y'all please be better and not bitter. There's a lot of bitter people on these YouTube streets, and I'm gonna tell you, just because I don't retaliate, that doesn't mean are weak. You gotta have emotional intelligence. Because let me say this, you all, and I'm gonna be quite honest. People can get away, but they won't get by. All of this stuff that folk be doing to people, honey, everybody has a day. And that's why I just sit and watch. It's no need for me to get upset at things. Like they tell me that Rico had put my fat boy picture up. Thank God I'm not that person and I'm not there no more. But yet he's going through all of these health challenges. He gotta work. There is a work requirement. If you are able-bodied, all the way up to 64 years old, and if you're receiving public assistance, you have to work. So you done lost the job, you done lost the dog, you got all of these health challenges, you speaking cancer on Treasure Lane, but you the one who have all the problems. And see, that's the sad part about it, Rico. Nobody don't think they're better than you, but you make bad decisions. To have that knife in your hand, to show the police officers what you showed them, to not have that place clean, you got problems. And you showing somebody a fat picture is not going to solve your problem. Now, it may make you feel better because you hurting, but man, you need to get it together. Everybody goes through some challenges, but some of this stuff is self-inflicted. And my heart goes out to him because he lacks emotional intelligence. He has anger issues. He's going through a whole lot, and he really, really cares about what these people on these YouTube streets think. He shares his whole life on YouTube because I don't think he has anybody to share it with in person. And my heart goes out, and this is no shade. It's no shade. But you got a lot of things going on in your life right now that I couldn't imagine. I'm going to go to my dentist every 6 months and do my checkup, get my teeth cleaned. did my colonoscopy, did my single shot. I mean, I mean, seriously. Because when you get to, baby, you got to take care of your health. Even when I was big, I just lost the weight because I'm like, I don't want to be pre-diabetic. I don't want to have no joint issues and all of that stuff. And we made the change. It is what it is. But you put my picture up ain't gonna help your situation. You may feel good for a moment, but the problem's still there. See, that's the real tea right there. The problem is still there. You know, being in these volatile relationships, people on meth and stuff. I'm like, ooh, Jesus. So I look at that kind of stuff. You heard me. When you really know who you are, all of that stuff that people put out, lie roast, baby, you move on. I learned in church one day, the lady said, if it ain't true, rejoice. If it is, repent. She said, that's all you need to do. She said, if it ain't true, rejoice. She said, if it is, repent and move on. Let me say something, Just Sheila. First of all, I've already lost weight without that. But the weight loss stuff is really good because it stops the food noises, and I'm grateful for it. So I don't have to lie about that. There ain't no shame in my game. So that's something that's psychological and chemical that now I'm good because my mind is not there. So it goes to show you it's not just about willpower. So everybody's different. And so it is what it is. But that's what I had to do for me. That's why I'm telling Brian on a serious tip, Brian, try Zepatide. Because, Brian was thinking of gastric sleeve or something like that. And I'm like, well, try Zepatide. And if it works for you, do it. But if Brian wants to do that, that's Brian's decision. Again, you still got to do exercise and walk and eat. And that's why I think that works because now all the food that I eat is not that processed and that I usually fix for myself. But yeah, you gotta take care of yourself. And you gotta do what you gotta do for you. Period. Yeah, just Sheila, I did. But let me tell you what happens with that. When you don't have variety, it gets boring. And so, but I still do exercise. I still do go now and exercise. Um, I started back because I got a few things that I have some goals for. So I'm starting back, and I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Ernie Hudson, the black man on Ghostbusters, baby, he's an inspiration. Ernie is about 80, and he looks about maybe 50. Y'all check out Ernie Hudson on Ghostbusters. He is an inspiration. That man looks better than anybody on Ghostbusters, including the women. When I tell you they had him, Dan Aykroyd, and Chevy Chase, well, whatever that guy's name, I don't know if it was Chevy Chase, but they had them taking pictures. And let me tell you something, Ernie was looking like a teenager compared to them. Lord have mercy. So Ernie Hudson is um, he only works out 3 days a week, which is what I do now. I mean, yeah, no joke. The man, he looks better older than he did younger, to be honest. He looks better older than he does younger. And so I give a shout out to him. He's an inspiration for sure. Ernie Hudson is looking really good. He's really up in age, but he is taking care of himself. He does a lot of balance exercises and to keep balance because when people get older, That's an inspiration. Shout out to Ernie Hudson, Ghostbusters, working out 3 times a week and doing yoga and stuff to keep his balance. He don't like the gym. I don't like the gym, so that's the inspiration. He goes because he knows that he needs to be healthy. But baby, not only does it make him look healthy, it make him look good. So shout out to Ernie Hudson. Oh yes. Yeah, he made Max Boogie. He made. He made. He made. But people got to do what they need to do for their health. And I'm not going to ever beat nobody for their health. Angela Bassett looks good. A lot of our senior people, our senior statesmen and women are really looking good. Let me tell you something. Cicely Tyson looked good up until the day she died. Let me say this too. Lena Horne, for a woman of a light complexion, I don't know if she had work or not, but she really looked good. Because most people who are of the light complexion, they don't age well. See, everybody want to be light skinned. Because some of them don't age. They don't age well. Jasmine guys, she ain't aging well. She ain't aging well. God bless her heart. Everybody ain't aging well. I see like the more melanin you have, the better chance you're gonna age. Okay, you know what I'm saying. Okay, so hopefully Brian is watching this. Brian Max Boogie said, "This is Max Boogie." She said, "I have a page that talks about all of that. If he wants help and what to say to PCP, I don't mind helping him." Awesome, awesome. Each one teach one. Thank you, Max Boogie, for that. We appreciate you. I know. I know she looks very, very old. hmm Now the lady, what's that lady's name, y'all? She's from Miami. Oh, I cannot think of her name right now. But she's from Miami. And she's all vegan. And she be doing the noni juice and baby. Now that lady has to be close to her 90s. And she yeah, her husband, I think her husband is having some issues. But she's from Miami. And she has looked really, really, really good. Yeah, girl, just because you light skinned, maybe you better go ahead and do that while you young. Let me tell you, I'm gonna be real with you all. Water, 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 moisturizer, moisturizer, moisturizer. Now, I'm gonna say this: you still gonna get wrinkles. You still gonna do what you need to do. I'm not gonna lie about that, and it's genetics as well. But in the end, you got to take care of yourself. This is why I'm looking at these people drinking all of this liquor now. And again, I'm 55. I'm an older gentleman, thank God. 55. But what I am going to say is all of this liquor drinking, it ain't gonna help in the end because alcohol it takes away. It doesn't. Yeah, y'all got to realize alcohol is just what it is. So y'all got to be careful. Drinking does ages you. Okay, Max Boogie, I believe you. Yeah, that drinking and then not taking care of your teeth, y'all. Oral health, no shade again, but oral health is so critical. And you all, I don't care what they say, y'all better get toothpaste with fluoride in it so you're not having cavities. People talking about, oh, fluoride is dangerous. Baby, I'm living in Florida. They put fluoride in the water in Florida. Let me tell you, I went to this dentist and he said, "Are you from Florida?" I'm like, "Yeah." He said, I'm like, "How do you know I'm from?" He said, "Because I'm looking at your teeth. Because they put fluoride in the water in Florida." Child, I'm like, "Okay." I have never, thank you, Jesus, had a cavity. Never had a cavity. And I thank God for that. I don't know what it is to have no dark stuff on my teeth. I don't know what that is. But y'all, serious. Make sure you got fluoride in your toothpaste. Stop playing. Everybody wants to, oh, that give you cancer. Child, let me tell you something. I graduated in '88. When I was going to school, baby, they shot you for everything. If you got that thing on your arm for that booster shot, baby, they shoot you with everything. And nobody ain't died. Nobody had no child. Look, now I can't speak for other neighborhoods, but my neighborhood, mm-mm. And then the people who've been in the military, you know they're going to shoot you up, and you don't even have no choice in the matter. So, yeah. Oh, it can. It can, and it will. Baby, get some fluoride in your mouth. Get some fluoride in your mouth. And that's on the real. That is on the real. And don't stop learning. People like, you always taking the class. You are, yes, yes. You think you know everything. Not everything, but I'm trying to find out what I don't know. I try to find out. Oh, Max Boogie, your mama passed away in her sleep. I am so sorry to hear that. That does something to me. There are some exceptions, Max Boogie. But I'm going to tell you what. This man in the office at the CDC now, baby, these measles is taking these children out in Texas. Okay, Nicole, reloaded. Yeah, my thing is this, you all. People can say what they want. People can say what they want. I just have a problem with the drug companies. I have a problem with these drug companies gouging people. So if you don't have insurance, Prizepatide, which is Zepbound, can cost you retail $1,300. If you go and get the coupon from Eli Lilly, they will charge you $500 a month. Like I said, I have a friend, baby, she get her stuff from India, $100. I think she paid maybe $7 so they could get their profit, and then the rest for shipping. $170. In Costa Rica, my friend said she went to Costa Rica, and baby, you could just buy it in Costa Rica, $25 a vial, which is $100. So why are our insurance companies charging people $1,300 retail, and then trying to act like they're doing folk a favor by charging $500, where you can get it in India, Costa Rica for $25 a vial? I'm just, yeah. But what they're doing is gouging people. And my thing is, y'all don't care about obesity, not with them prices. And the thing is, you all, I know people got to make profit, but this is ridiculous profit. Ridiculous profit. It's ridiculous. And now they're trying to weasel out the compounding. So they're trying to lower prices to weasel out the compounding pharmacies so they can still keep that profit. I'm just being real with y'all. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. All I'm gonna say is y'all do research. Do research, because a lot of people are doing research. Let me tell y'all this. When I worked for Delta, we flew to Mumbai. And baby, When I tell you the flight attendants used to pack very light, and I'm like, we getting ready to go to Mumbai. Maybe they would pack very light. Maybe when I tell you they came back home with Eliquis, any drug you want is in India. Most of our generic drugs are manufactured out of India. Maybe when I was telling you they was bringing back stuff dirt cheap, stuff that people paying $700 for. They going to India and getting it for $2 and $5. So let me tell you, they had an old nasty piece of import export business, and they would go to India, baby. They would fight over them trips because it was business for them. And again, they would go buy that medicine. So if they paid $5, they would charge people $25. They would make a profit, but it was still cheaper than what they had to pay for in America. Baby! I'm just telling y'all, Pastor Retta is more active than trizepatide. And okay, Max Boogie, we got to talk. You got to email me. Email me at my jameslegal1970 at gmail thing, because some people might need to get some help. All I'm going to say is y'all do y'all research. Do your research. Do your research. Do your research. Actually, you can go get it in Mexico, but let me tell you about Mexico. You got to have a Mexican doctor to prescribe it. You got to have a Mexican doctor to prescribe it. I'm sure you can get one. It ain't that hard. But, yeah. Canada's meds are cheaper than the U.S. as well, yeah. Maybe flight attendants be on their hustle, honey. If they ain't selling Badusi, honey, they trying to, now these were legal pills. So they weren't, yeah, but they street pharmacists. Honey, I know this girl, she had an import-export business, and she would buy jeans from Africa and sell them like crazy in the United States. So they're dirt cheap in Africa. But when she got to the States, maybe she would mark them jeans up. She had a whole store. Oh, yeah, you know I get my COVID boosters. Okay, I'll drop it. Yeah, you know I still get my COVID booster. I don't play with COVID because I saw it firsthand. I saw it firsthand. So let me tell you, when COVID hit, I was at I was doing my chaplaincy training. So when COVID hit, I was doing my chaplaincy training. So I was at the hospital. As chaplains, we could not go into the rooms. So at this particular hospital, they had like glass between, so you could actually see the person, and you can get on the phone and call them. So I seen a lot of people lose their life due to COVID. Seen it. So I'm serious about that. And so I get my booster shots. I don't play with it, and people are still getting it. I know two people who have contracted the, yeah, people still get it. And let me say this, you all. Let me say this. I'm going to be very frank with you all today. I am nobody's pastor. That's binary. Binary was actually a pastor. He was actually leading a congregation. He was actually over a congregation. Okay? So he was a pastor. In ministry, you have evangelists. They go church to preach. You have ministers who, that's what they do. And then you have chaplains. You have chaplains. Now, I fall in that chaplain situation. And a chaplain is to help people reach where they are spiritually. So this is why you have chaplains at the hospital. We do not try. to convert people. We don't do that. We try to help people spiritually to get through their medical situation. So if they are Christian, we try to help them strengthen their faith. We do those types of things. That's what a chaplain does. So now, I am ordained, got the license. Because it's really funny with people. You ain't no, I know I'm rough talking, but like I said, it is what it is. But if I wasn't ordained, I couldn't be a chaplain. As a chaplain, you have to be ordained and you have to have an ecclesiastical backing. And I don't think people know that it takes a lot to be a legitimate chaplain. A legitimate chaplain. You have to have 4 years, you have to have 4 units of clinical pastoral education. You have to have 4 units. And it has to be accredited chaplaincy. So you just can't go in and you got to go through those processes. We had some people, they were like, okay, we're going to let you take these classes, but you can't be a chaplain at our hospital until you get your Master's of Divinity. And see, that's what hurts a lot of people who are Muslim, because, again, where are you going to get a Master's of Divinity or the equivalent in Islam? And so that hurts a lot of Muslim clerics, and that's deep. And that's why I have a problem with that, but that's how serious it is. So, yes. Yeah. I never forget. Let me say this. Yeah, it is what it is. Let me tell y'all something. I never forget. I was working the emergency room in the ICU. This black lady came in with her elderly mom. Her mom had to be every bit of like 90, very active woman, but again, she's in her 90s, right? And they happen to be Church of God in Christ, very faith, right? So the mama wasn't feeling well, and the daughter kept on saying, I just want you to pray for healing, and because mama and I'm listening. And so as a chaplain, I'm listening to her, and I'm like, I'm glad that you have great faith, and, that's great. So I asked the mama, I'm like, what do you want? Because, see, it's not about what the child wants. It's what the person who is actually ill wants. And mama said, I'm tired. She said, son, I'm tired. I'm ready to go home. Oh, mama, I had to say, let me tell you something. I said, we all going to leave here. I don't care how much you exercise. I don't care how much you do Sudoku. Baby, you going to leave here. And I said, what does your mama want? I said, what does your mom want? I said, because what you don't want to happen is your mom existing but not living. And the only thing you're doing is coming to observe her like some, zoo exhibit. I said, so the decision is your mom. And I said, what you really need to do is focus on how can you prepare yourself if your mom doesn't pull through. I said, now, if God heals her, enjoy a lot of time with her, because your mom is 91. And we have to come to the realization is that we have an expiration date. And you know this, and you said that your mom is a woman of great faith and she loves God, and maybe she's ready to go. And I said, I'm not trying to dash your faith, but we have to be realistic. And I said, so face that. You got to face your fear. And we talked about it, but it was really what the mama wanted. It's not what you want, what your mama wants. She don't want to be resuscitated. So if she don't want to be resuscitated, that means she want to go see Jesus. And it's hard for people to do that. But yeah, we had to have conversations like that. And it was really good. It was really good, y'all. I did that for about 3 to 4 years. But let me say this, you all. I would love to do that contractually. That job is a lot of stress. And I'm thinking that I won't do, you got to do it in the hospital. But the hospital chaplaincy is stressful. You got corporate chaplaincy, you got prison, which I don't want to do. Prison chaplaincy is very tricky. You have to, it's a fine line between the inmates and the guards. You have to help them spiritually. You can't be too close to the inmates, or the guards are thinking you're on. It's a mess. And then you got to be there for executions, and then the family dynamics. And yeah, now even the jail chaplains, there are levels. So for a county or a city jail chaplain, there are people getting out in months. So it's easy. You have to talk to them, try to help them not come back to jail. Maybe that state chaplaincy, I would never, ever want to be a state chaplain, because that's when people got long sentences. It's a lot. And federal chaplains, they get paid the most, and they have it easy for the most part. Federal chaplaincy. So yeah, the ADXs, you know. But yeah, hospital chaplains, baby, I done seen it. I done seen it all. I seen a man come in, and this 5-ton air conditioning unit crushed him. I done seen shot wounds. I done seen blood everywhere. Let me tell you something. If you don't have a good stomach, it ain't the place. And I mean, chaplaincy is no joke. You see everything. You are with people when they die and they take their last breath. It's no joke. It's no joke. And I'm the type of person that I'm not emotional, so I'm pretty much solid. And then I'll pray with people and all of that stuff. So it was good for me, because as a chaplain, you can't be too emotional. So the whole family could be crying. I'm just observing, and so it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And you get attached to some of the people who are there, and then they don't. You go to the room, and they're not there anymore. So it can be very challenging. It can be very challenging. Now, I would never want to be a pediatric chaplain, because baby, them children hospitals, all the children don't make it, and that's some tough stuff. I had to work the maternity ward, and y'all, I ain't gonna ever lie. I had an African couple who had a miscarriage. Ooh, and that lady blamed herself. Oh my God. And then the mother-in-law blamed her. It was like, wow, she just lost her baby, and y'all blaming her? Are you serious? So that took a lot of, it took a lot of talking to. And then I had a situation where a lady had a horse farm, and she was feeding the horses, and the horse kicked her in the stomach. It was a lot of stuff, y'all. So again, you really have to help people. It's a lot of tragic situations, a lot of tragedy in the world, and you get to hear it all. You get to hear it all. I'm reading out. Yeah, yeah, it's hard. And then see, that's the thing. You said the nurses. You got to be there for the nurses, because the nurses really have a hard time. I've had to talk to a couple of doctors. I mean, they tough on the exterior, but they feel that pressure too. And let me tell y'all something. A chaplain has a lot of authority in a hospital. A chaplain can give you more time when you're grieving. Because let me tell you, at the hospital, when you die, child, they trying to get. I ain't trying to be funny, y'all, but in a hospital, when you die, maybe they're trying to get that funeral home to come and get that body because they need that room. Okay, they need that room for somebody else. So them nurses is trying to get you out. And so, you don't be talking to black people crazy. They done lost mama, and here you go, baby. So I was in that emergency room, and baby, it was about to get turned out in that emergency room because the lady kept on rushing them. Y'all called the funeral home. I mean, the lady just died. So you have to mediate between the family. And so I'm like, look, family, I'm so sorry for your loss, and we are continuing to pray for you. I'm so sorry. Have you all decided which funeral home that you're going to use? How much time do you need so I can give to the nurses? Because, we do grieve your loss, but at certain time we're going to have some more people come in here because, so how much time do you need? And they'll tell you how much time they need, and you'll talk to the nurse, and you mediate between those two families, baby, because them black and Hispanic people, when folks die, child, don't be coming up here talking about something. Yeah, baby, they be ready to kick it. Mama just died, and you trying to rush me out. So, and it can be that kind of stuff. And some folks don't know how to talk to people, and you got to really kind of ease that. So I've had a lot of that. So chaplains have a lot of leeway into giving people extended time. I had to be the power of attorney for like people who are homeless and indigent, people who don't have family. We do everything to find the family. But if no family is found, I might have to sign for a surgery. And I used to say, did y'all pass this through legal? And doctors used to hate me for that. And I'm like, nope. I said, I'm not signing anything until I get a phone call from legal and I get an email saying that I can do this. Because if anything happens, I'm the one who's signing this. I'm telling you. So chaplains have a lot of leeway. They do. But I'm not, let me say this, I'm not a pastor. I'm clergy. I'm a part of the clergy, but I'm not a pastor. And people need to know that a pastor has a congregation. I don't have a congregation. I don't want a congregation. That's a lot of headache. Do you see what these cult leaders go through in the beef section? Maybe I'm not trying to have that. So I'm part of clergy. I'm part of the chaplaincy. And chaplaincy, I think people get chaplaincy mixed up. We had a person who went to the Unitarian Church, and y'all know anything about the Unitarian Church, baby. You can be you can be a witch, but yeah. And can I say this? So I work with the Unitarian chaplain, and I enjoy working with her more than some of the evangelical chaplains because she was a lawyer, and when I tell you she was such a logical thinker, and I loved working with her. Now, she was a Christian Unitarian, but Unitarian still the same. And so, yeah. But I like working with her because she was a logical, critical thinker. So, yeah. We have mental break rooms in the hospital. Yeah. Social workers go through a lot at the hospital. Social workers go through a lot because a lot of people are homeless or about to lose their home. So the social worker tries to find services for them. So yeah, the hospital is just more than doctors and nurses. You got chaplains, you got social workers, dietitians. It's a big business. It is a big business. Um, that's why I think it's wrong. So somebody's saying, well, they're trying to get chaplains in public schools. No, no, no. Chaplains should not be in public schools. Counselors and therapists should be in public schools. Period. Now, if your school is a private Christian school, then by all means you should have a chaplain. But chaplains should not be in state schools. Because if you get a chaplain, what kind of chaplain? See, this is what Greg Abbott and these Republicans don't understand. If you get a Christian chaplain, you got to have a Muslim chaplain. You have to have a Jewish chaplain. You got to have a Catholic chaplain. A Baptist chaplain. You see where I'm going? No. And the school system's already pressed enough trying to hire teachers, and now you got to hire all these chaplains. Because again, these people are U.S. citizens, and they pay taxpayer money. And so they deserve their rights and their freedom. And if you do it for one, you got to do it for all. Your child can pray in class and nobody don't even know. Okay? Pray with your child before they go to school. But I don't think that's a good idea. Girl, they trying to do so much in Texas. Well, I don't think a chaplain. Can I say this? We didn't pray when I went to school. So they had stopped that, and we did okay. And again, y'all, it's about people's civil rights. You don't want nobody forcing that down your throat. So I think it's all about civil rights. It's about civil rights. So those are my thoughts. Let me tell y'all something though. I'm a child. I'm Gen X. And when I was growing up, you had first place, second place, and third place. That is it. Everybody didn't get no trophy. Everybody didn't get no trophy. Okay? Baby, we got the real reality, harsh reality of life. You ain't gonna win all the time, and everybody ain't gonna get no trophy. So you gonna either get the gold, the silver, or the bronze. That's it. Nothing else, boo. Okay? Everybody went no winner. We had to do the physical fitness test. How many of y'all had to do the physical fitness test? Baby, I had to do the physical fitness test. Okay? And you got that little government certificate when you passed it. I sure did. Y'all don't know nothing about that physical fitness test. Baby, okay, I was doing that. This is when you know. Baby, I heard they don't even do the physical fitness test no more. You did too? I know I did. Mm. So anyway, y'all, let me say this again. And I'm having a good talk today, but I want you all to know, be better and not bitter. Bitterness causes anger. Bitterness causes you to lapse in good judgment. And a lot of people on this apparatus, they're bitter. They're not better. They're really bitter. And I am not bitter. I'm not. I know people try to make something big out of something. Baby, I'm going to tell you what, it's going to be the season of block for me. Because I don't give people access to me. When you get access to me, and if you don't think my access is important, then I think, it's good then. So great. But yeah, I don't give people access to me to do any and everything. Somebody had hit me up talking about Tulsa and people and how they play in your face. Baby, nobody don't play in my face. What y'all realize is y'all take things a little too seriously. You really do. And my thing is, I don't miss nothing. I know when people playing, and I go right along with it. You don't be in corporate world and not pick up on things. But there's always a time to do things. There's always a way to do things. And just because I don't do it at your time, that don't mean I don't know what's going on. I know who that person is. I know what that person is capable of. I just don't do it at your time. And again, this is what I always say. If you know the secret, then get a platform and come on up here. But I'm good. And I'm not bitter. And let me say this, y'all. Nothing. She has done nothing to me that's going to cause me any issues, to be honest. It is what it is. It's an apparatus that you do your show on. And once you finish your show, you click off. I'm not behind the scenes with Tulsa. I don't call Tulsa. There ain't no love lost. And Tulsa's going to be a good content creator, but I just had to do what I had to do. That was something that I needed to do. And guess what? I'm not going to bash Tulsa or say, now I know that that's not always reciprocated, but I'm not because I know what people want and I know what people try to do. I know what people want and try to do. I get it. But that don't mean I'm going to do it. Sometimes you don't give people what they want. All I'm going to say is be better and not bitter. Bitterness don't serve you. It doesn't. So that's all I'm gonna say with that, y'all. I mean, really. So don't be angry with people and they panning your face, child, y'all too. Again, that's when I say, are you okay? Because I'm like, you too into this. You more into this than I am. So y'all be good. Let these people talk. Let them talk about this church thing. They need something to talk about, and let them talk. I'm really good. Nothing ain't going on. I heard a little bit of YouTube camera, and YouTube camera, you know what, girl? You're right. You're right, YouTube camera. We don't know. YouTube camera, you are so right. And again, this is why I'm not stressed out about that YouTube camera, because people really want to know. But even if you tell them, they still won't believe you, because if they have issues with you or some kind of beef, they're always going to think the negative. And you can't help what people think. You got to go on and do what you got to do. That's it. I know she was talking about the Vivian situation. You are right. You don't know people's work schedule. You don't know what Vivian and I did behind the scenes to get her prepared. You don't know who showed up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm not stressing out over that. And I'm being real with that. Y'all let these people get to you all. Y'all don't know these people. And again, I'm not being funny. These people ain't paying no bills at your house. You ain't sleeping with these people. They ain't your immediate family or friends. And y'all are so concerned about what these folks think. Who gives a damn what these folks think? What do you think? That's the thing. And when you know what it is, then you move on. This is why, and let me say this, y'all. I'm not lying. When I say I don't watch these folks, it's not being funny, but I don't watch these people because they're full of bitterness, anger, and hate. Now, when I roast the egg, it's on the light for the most part, unless something is very true. But maybe they bitter. And my thing is, why am I going to go watch that and give them the satisfaction? First of all, out of sight and out of mind to me, it is what it is. And that's how I look at it. I don't expose myself to that mess. Yeah. So I don't expose myself to that mess and that foolishness. And that's why I don't understand people always looking, who you said this about me. Child, I don't got time for that. Okay. They're going to talk about you when you're doing good, and they're going to talk about you when you're doing bad. So it shouldn't matter. So look, y'all, I got to go. I want to thank y'all for coming on. Peace and love. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.